So very quickly into our first story. You do remember that King Kaka had a health scare very recently, and he did not really highlight what happened or what he was diagnosed with. All we know that he was treated for a bad diagnosis, a wrong diagnosis, and it went south to the point where he almost died. And we've seen the gruesome pictures. We have seen how his partner walked with him and, was there for the whole journey. That is what I called in sickness and in health, despite the fact that he has done her dirty a few times. Maybe he redeemed himself. We don't know. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. Anyway, he is finally talking about his condition, and he says, one day my wife came from work and I told her, I think I will be taken out of the house in a body bag. Basically, he is just relieving the trauma that was his illness, and he was talking about this in Ogalbina's podcast, and he said, he started seeing visions of, before you die, the things you see. Sometimes you see the darkness, sometimes you see the light, and he made his peace. And he said, you know what, God, I am ready. If this is how I go out, it's how I go out. I have no qualms. I have set my house in order. Everything is okay. And the minute he resigned and just let go of everything, apparently the next day, it was just a miraculous occurrence. The next day he started recuperating. He could consume breakfast without throwing up. Later on he had soup, and that was his journey back to being healthy. All I'm saying, this man spent months in hospital, and they never knew the illness. They never knew what he was suffering from until he was at the brink of death, and then he just miraculously started getting better. So the question is the healthcare system really failing us? Because how would you not be able to diagnose what a person is suffering from? He says they went as far as telling him he might have HIV and AIDS, he might have tuberculosis. Nobody really knew what was ailing him. And then, out of nowhere, after he said, okay, I've done my time, I've done my piece, this is it, he starts recovering miraculously. Anyway, I don't know. I have no idea what to take away from that story. All I'm saying is it's kind of suspicious. It's kind of odd. But what do you think about that story? The number is 0770-729-366.
I love it. And I love the energy that he gives naturally when there's something about King Kaka that is just exciting, I am excited to see how far he can go when it comes to telling us more about the story. They've not really been very they were very forthcoming with information at the beginning of the journey, but then after we even now we still don't know what happened. Did he get a diagnosis? Did he not get a diagnosis? What happened? But there's something that I think we need to discuss when it comes to the healthcare system, especially the healthcare system in Kenya. One, it is quite something when you think about the fact that you can go to one doctor and they tell you one thing, and you go to another doctor and they tell you a completely different thing, right? Both of them very reputable hospitals or not, regardless, it's very, very interesting that depending on where that person's pocket is or depending on where they are financially at that moment in time, they can choose to make a decision for your life that will alter your life and your system completely, okay? So be careful even as you're getting diagnosis. Always try and get a second opinion. Always try and get as much information as you can about your condition. Ask questions. Usually you go to a hospital and you don't ask enough questions. Ask questions. Why does my head hurt when I turn to the left and not on the right? Why does my head hurt and I don't have a chance to explain to me what is going on, in my opinion. Ask. Be very vocal about your problems because it is your body. If you go to one hospital and they tell you one thing, go to another hospital and verify. Go to the next hospital and verify. Just get the information correctly because if you're in pain, you are in pain and there's nothing that can be done about it.